podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Thanks for choosing this free Anfield Index podcast. If you'd prefer to listen to this or any of our other shows without adverts, then now's the time to check out Anfield Index Pro. With AI Pro, you can supercharge your entire listening experience. You'll not only get all of our podcasts without the ads, but you'll have them far faster with our quick publish feature available exclusively for subscribers. AI Pro also puts you in the heart of our sound studio, with an option to listen to many of our shows live and interact with the podcasters in real time as the shows are recording. Upgrading couldn't be easier. AI Pro is available on all popular podcast platforms. Just head on over to AnfieldIndexPro.com and get started today.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, ladies and gents. It is Saturday, the 22nd of June. It is the Daily Red, and it's one day standing in for another. So I'm Dave Davis, taking you through everything Red-related for the weekend, what's being said, what's being done, what's being played at the moment. Because as we know, we've got the Euros, we've got the Copa America, the transfer window's in full swing. It's a bit quieter for us. I know people will be feeling that, people thinking, do something, Liverpool, so to speak. We know Big Arne has talked to Richard, as he says, their plans, they've had their discussions, and PSR clubs are doing things, but let's talk everything Liverpool. And to be clear, there is only one place to start this weekend. 7 years ago today, Liverpool's number 11, the Egyptian king, the demigod that strides the Anfield pitch, Mo Salah, arrived from Roma in a transfer that I don't think anyone could have remotely envisaged just how successful this would be. I mean, with 211 goals later, 87 assists, 8 major trophies. I mean, just like 211 goals, 87 assists, 8 major trophies, countless individual awards. How he's not got a Ballon d'Or in that time or been in a serious run-in. I mean, so it's just unbelievable. But I can't really think of a better word to describe Mo Salah's career since he's come to Anfield than unbelievable. Any major memory, major moment you've got of the last 7 years will involve Mo Salah. It will involve usually Mo Salah doing something special, being involved in anything. At the absolute minimum, you usually creating something or being part of it, minimum. It just is an absolute demigod. It's just a privilege, actually, to watch him, as we do often week in, week out. And people will be talking about this. He's always going, yeah, let's go his card today. It's irrelevant today. There's a bit of sadness in me. There's a bit of coverage on it, but I would have loved to have seen Liverpool LFC TV just have made more of a fuss. Could have done like so many things, couldn't they? Like his top 10 goals, top 10 matches, whatever. The magical moments, the Champions League, World Club Cup finals. Salah has been a major contributor in all of those. And as much as I know the Egyptian King's loved, we appreciate him so much. He's my favourite player. I'm not going to hide it for 1 second. There is almost that part of me that does think, will he only ever receive that true love and people will realise what they had when it's gone, in essence? And it might be the final 12 months we get to see of him, but by God, what a player, what a man. We know all the things he's done around so Gaza, Palestine, things about the climate that he's spoken about, the donations he's given. An unbelievable player, an unbelievable man. And it's right that we know and celebrate this day. No two ways about it. Unbelievable. But there we go. Yeah, 7 years, that should be the headline there, shouldn't it? Since Mo Salah arrived at Liverpool. In other Red news, I mean, the Euros are in swing, and today there's two, hopefully, get minutes. Jota for Portugal later on. They got Turkey, haven't they? And Yaros, our backup goalkeeper. Well, is he a backup keeper? No one really knows. But we hope he gets some minutes for the Czech Republic. That would be great if he got the start there. I don't know if he will. We will have to see. I wouldn't put money on it necessarily. Speaking of Reds that did have minutes yesterday as well, yesterday evening, 2 of the 3 Dutch boys, did they? Cody and Virgil started, played for Netherlands in their 0-0 draw against the French, where people say they were unlucky about a disallowed goal, and we'll come to that. I think at the moment, I know Alexis McAllister was superb the other day against Canada, and I put that into sort of context, and that's not trying to be diminishing of Canada, but what that means. So far, Cody Gakpo has been the Liverpool player that's standing out in international football in the last week or so. In his last game for Holland, he scored, yes, the deflections to the strike, but it was a good performance. In this game against France, he was really good. Really, really good. You saw aggressiveness. You saw him driving at the right times. You actually saw him do some defensive work, and it wasn't always perfect. But I think people really in the last few games have started to think that, as many expect, if Luis Diaz goes, Cody Gakpo's a real option, and playing well enough to be considered a real option, that people are starting to maybe think, actually, if Diaz goes, the plan seems to be a right-footed left winger, a potential Salah understudy, if you want to call them that I can quite happily, I think people are starting to think, I can cope with Gakpo, Jota, probably Szoboszlai, the options on the left. There's 3 good options there, and I know not everyone likes Szoboszlai on that wing. People talk about it, but he's an option potentially. Jota can play there, but Gakpo playing in his natural left wing role looks another real option. So I think people are really warming to Cody Gakpo at the moment. But we'll see. Let's hope he continues this level throughout the tournament at the same time. So yeah, they were yesterday. Next few days, there's a few players coming up. But yeah, good luck to Diogo Jota. And also a bit of a congratulations to Diogo Jota, because he announced it yesterday via video, didn't he? Ronaldo had kind of let the cat out the bag. But he and his wife have a 3rd child on the way. So shout out, congratulations to Diogo Jota. Wishing him all good health and happiness there. Transfer rumours. There's some nonsense ones, I think it's fair to say, because it's that season and you're always going to get those. There's some interesting ones, I think it's fair to say, and there's a mix. One thing that's worth noting is Dario Osorio, the Chilean youngster who's Midtjylland, who's been linked with Liverpool. We said before in the transfer show, we know Liverpool have watched this player, and the fee is said to be around 7 to 8 million. He came on for Chile against Peru, didn't he, in that 0-0 draw? I hate judging people just on one international game. We've been here before with the likes of El Hadji Diouf and people raving about him, so you should never just do that. But it was a terrible game. He really didn't perform well. His pass completion from the highlights I've seen will be very, very low. And he should never just be on one thing, and he shouldn't just rate this. But it's natural. People are going to be paying attention, aren't they, for players that are linked with Liverpool during the international tournaments like the Copa and the Euros. And if you're thinking that's not the case, it is. We know. People have been looking at Calafiori, and I understand waxing lyrical over how he's done for Italy so far. So people are watching it, understandably. Transfer rumours that I think are nonsense. The Mail had one today about Arda Güler and Rodrigo, that Liverpool are looking at a double swoop. The Güler transfer's passed. We're aware, we looked at it last summer, but he's there at Real. He's trying to establish himself. He's had a few injuries. Rodrigo, yes, we'd all love to do that. There's no doubts about that. I know Liverpool would, if there's a chance, love to do that. Great. But just because Mbappe's coming doesn't mean he's going. Yeah, there's nothing that suggests that. If there is any chance and that does happen, hopefully we'll be front. I've no doubt we'll be front of the queue. But I'm kind of just putting a bit of a line through that. This one as well, it's a pencil line for me. Nico Williams was named by The Athletic, one of their Barcelona correspondents, Spanish correspondents, as having Liverpool as one of his potential destinations, one of the 4 that was mentioned. And even Fabrizio Romano has said today that, it is something that Liverpool have looked at, Nico Williams. I think the big problem here is, I'm not saying the player's talented, that it's actually no judge on the player or analysis of this whatsoever. He renewed on big wages with Bilbao. Big wages, we're talking around 200 grand a week, my understanding. Liverpool, would they even pay something like that for a player with that little experience? I know he's got international tournaments, people are going to be saying that, but in terms of Premier League and then that world overall experience, I am not so sure. At the same time, I think all the indications are, when you've seen certain reports, Williams wants to stay in his homeland. He is one of the players, along with Luis Diaz, linked with Barcelona, isn't he? Laporta talked about, I want a winger and a midfielder. The popular suggestions amongst many journalists is that it's Luis Diaz or Nico Williams. So you just have that suspicion this is being used to engineer a bit of Barcelona interest, truth be told. So, yeah, maybe not a red line through this, but a pencil line through it, all the less. Lewis Steele, the Daily Mail correspondent, he was on the Red Med TV and he said a few things. I don't think there was anything he gave that was sort of a huge revelation, many things that people suspected, but talked about, again, another patch journal saying it's quality over quantity, not expecting that many, but there will be reinforcements, real quality ones that the Reds are looking for, and mentioned that he would not be surprised if Kostas Tsimikas leaves Liverpool. I think people would be more surprised if Kostas Tsimikas is at Liverpool come the start of next season. He was left out the matchday squad. We know this quite often. Probably the choice left back would go in Robbo, Gomez, then him, which said it all. At the same time, you look at the players we're linked with, it seems to be a left-back, centre-back hybrid, if you want to call them that. And we have been linked with just a few left-backs as well, like Ainori. That rumour won't go away as well. That's one worth mentioning. A few papers or outlets have ran with that as well. So I think we'd all be more astonished if Kostas Tsimikas was at Liverpool next season, but we will have to see on that one. One interesting thing as well, and I probably thinking, did I miss this? No, I've not missed it, but I saved it till late towards the end. English refs, officials, VAR. Only we could bring to the Euros that, couldn't we? How well has the semi-automated technology worked and everything so far in this tournament? Been quick, effective, all those types of things. And then Stuart Atwell and Anthony Taylor get in the mix. Now, I'm loath to do this, but I want to be fair and clear on this. Stuart Atwell was VAR, Anthony Taylor's the ref. So, we are talking the VAR element. Not that I'm desperately trying to defend Anthony Taylor, but they needs to be taken into account. The length of time it took, ridiculous. Just, you could see players like, what is going on, what is happening. It was just absolute nonsense, wasn't it? The longest time yet. And again, it's English officials, because there's been this talk of, we're going to get semi-automated offsides and all these things will be quicker, effectively, smarter. And they managed to disprove it in one heartbeat yesterday, didn't they? One incident. And I'm sure everyone clocked this, which I did like. Virgil van Dijk in his interview said he thought it was a goal, but the English referee chose not to give it. I love the way he phrased that, and the sneer, you could see it in his tone as well. I actually think it's offside. Popular or not, I think the player does block the French goalkeeper from making the dive, Mangan. I think he does. I think it's offside. I think it's a bit extreme. Again, it was quite clear what had happened after a few seconds there. So why needed all this 5 minutes? You knew the decision you had to make. You had to decide, was he interfering, was he not? Did he disrupt that French keeper from making an attempted save? That's, I think, as a few phrased it. It was easy to see. Now, some will disagree with that, but you had the same pictures. You had the image quite quickly. So why the heck did it take so long to come to that decision? What were they possibly... It honestly... I didn't think we would talk about the Euros and English officials this way, but here we are. Let's not talk about that anymore. But Virgil and Coe, it's a good point, isn't it? France were a good team. Ibu didn't play at all, which again isn't the worst thing. I know people are looking at and talking, he should be ahead of Saliba and this, blah, blah, blah. At least he's staying fresh. And we know Ibu gets muscle injuries as well. So I'm looking at it as a positive, whether others aren't. Grav maybe could do with a few minutes, but it doesn't look like he's getting in anytime soon. So there we go, ladies and gents. Other things to mention, there's a few AI pods out or coming out. I know the AI pod with Trev and Lisa is out. They're back in the mix. They're talking Arnie Slot and many other things, so well worth a listen. And me and Bart's a transfer market metrics part 4, and it's left-footed lookups is the theme. So players with a left foot be it left back, centre back, hybrids, be it a right-footed left footed right winger, even all the way around. That is who we analyse. So we ran the metrics, and you'll be able to see them. Other articles and things to mention at the same time as well. This is Anfield have got a really good piece, I think, on Cody Gakpo. I know we've mentioned about how he is starting to shine a bit at the Euros in that natural left-wing position. Just worth mentioning as well, worth a good read there, a really good insight into his role, how he's doing. And it's interesting. I don't know if people are starting to see him in a different light. I don't know if they have seen him in a harsh light. Maybe that's me. But yeah, in a good way, people are starting to put a positive spin, whatever, on Cody Gakpo. But ladies and gents, Saturday the 22nd of June, the Euros in full force. I think it's the last day of 3 games as well. So enjoy that if you're watching the Euros. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy everything you see Liverpool related. Health and happiness to all. And that was your Daily Red podcast on Saturday the 22nd of June.
We hope you enjoyed listening to this Anfield Index show. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel so future podcasts find their way to your device automatically. There's nothing quite like fan engagement, and we'd love to know what you think of anything discussed on this show. The best way to get in touch is over on our free Discord community, where both podcasters and listeners debate the hottest LFC topics 24/7. Sign up free now at anfieldindex.com/Discord. You won't regret it. You can also follow us on Twitter at Anfield Index and find us on Facebook by searching for Anfield Index. Oh, and before you go, we'd love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on your favourite podcast app. It only takes a couple of seconds, and it means the world to the people who create these free shows.
Sports Social Podcast Network.